Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. So here I'm going to give you an introduction about PTE, and it was a very wise decision initially for choosing PTE over other language tests. Though there are many language tests in the market like TOEFL, IELTS. So why wonder, why choose PTE over other language tests? Well, I'm here to give you a brief intro and take you to a detailed course about how exactly PTE works. So now PTE is being globally recognized by all the universities across the globe for both study purposes as well as for migrations. So, many people come up with a confusion as to why choose PTE and why not IELTS. Well, I wouldn't say that PTE is difficult to crack, but it totally depends upon your proficiency or your command over the language. But with us at your hand, you can always be sure to get good marks. So I'm here to give you an introduction about PTE and how it works. So here, let me give you a briefing how PTE stands apart from other language tests. PTE, unlike all other language tests, it also have 4 test modules, which is reading, writing, speaking and listening. But unlike other tests, it's just completely computer based and the time limit is just 2 hours. But always remember that no two system would have the same questions. For example, if you and I both are writing on the same day at the same center, you would have a different set of questions, I would have a set of different questions. But the total marks would be calculated out of 90, like in IELTS, it would be calculated out of 9. And individually, it would be marked out of 90. Reading 90, listening 90, speaking 90, and writing 90 respectively. And you would also be assessed on your enabling skills, which would be marked out of 90 as well, which you don't find in any other language test. The enabling skills that you would be marked would be on your grammar, your pronunciation, your written discourse, your spelling, your vocabs, and your coherence. So in a nutshell, PTE not only assesses you individually, but also it is a cumulative assessment of all your skills. So not to worry, like for example in IELTS, if your reading goes bad or if you do not perform well in listening, your whole band score goes well. But in PTE you have an advantage, which is speaking is not only scored from your speaking module, but it could only be scored from other modules where all the speaking would be involved. For example, the speaking would be involved in listening. There would be a question where you have to listen to something and then tell it back to the system. So there, you're not only assessed only on your listening skills, but also your speaking would be assessed. So in a reading module, you would have a passage to be read out loudly to the system. So that includes both reading as well as speaking. So PTE is the only language test that assess a candidate on not just individually but on a cumulative assessment is done. And always there's a set of range of questions that is available. It's just not that our system would have at least 70 questions. It would vary from 70 to 75 questions. So it depends on the system that you choose. Some systems might have only 70 questions, some might have 71 and 75, so on. But the time limit and the marks would be the same, 2 hours and 90 each. So now let me take you in detail how PTE works. But always remember, there are many PTE softwares available, which I would be giving in the link below. But the exam software is exclusively reserved for the exam, which they don't easily let out. So we'll go into detail how PTE is worked. So there are 3 timed parts: speaking and writing, reading and then listening. Speaking and writing, they are both cumulative and it would be assessed together. So the time required for speaking and writing would be 54 to 67 minutes, followed by reading, which is approximately 29 to 30 minutes, and followed by listening, which is the last part of the whole exam, which is about 30 to 43 minutes. So you might be wondering as to why there is a range of time, like why not just 30 minutes, or why a range of time like from 29 to 30 minutes. Always remember that PTE, every question or the whole exam is timely marked. For example, a question might be of 40 seconds. So for me, for example, if I finish that question within 20-25 seconds, so I need not wait at that question for 5 seconds. So I can click on next button and it would automatically take me to the other question. So there I save a 5-second time period, but always remember this time period cannot be utilized in any other module. It's just that I would be finishing that module early and so would my exam. So that is why you find an array of time, not a definite time like in IELTS, for in IELTS, reading is for 1 hour. It's definite, nothing more, nothing less. But in PTE, it's from 29 to 30 minutes. Some candidates finish early, some would take 30. But that extra time that you save cannot be utilized in any other module. Okay, so each part may contain a number of sections and each section would each individually be timed. And there is a timed but not marked a part of the exam which is in the beginning, which is called as a self-introduction. You would be asked to introduce yourself. It is a kind of way to even test the mic. So make sure whatever you speak loud and clear. And the exam centers, you would be seated just adjacent to each other. And the mic that you hold is this area sensitive. So for example, if I am sitting next to a candidate and I have a louder voice, so whatever I speak, your system might record. But always remember, as I said, no two systems would have the same questions. Once the recording is done, there is no way that you can over-record or re-record it again. All the modules would only be played once. Listening, there is no way that you can go pause or re-listen to it. So make sure whatever I speak, my system records what I speak, not what my neighbor. So be sure that you speak loud and clear. What you speak is important, but how you speak is equally important in PTE. So this was just an overview as to why you should choose PTE over other language tests. Remember, PTE is just not easy to crack, but the results are really quick. And since it's completely computer-based, no human error, and it is now being widely recognized everywhere. So in the following videos that are going to come up, I will be showing you in detail how to go about PTE, all the tips, the strategies you require, and I'm sure by the end of this tutorial lessons, you would be very confident enough to go and crack PTE. And if not, we are always there by your side. So by the link would be shared in the comment. And if there's any query, any doubts, feel free to call us or please leave your doubts in the comments below.